Before I start this video, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please click the like button, share this out through social media, and leave comments in the comments section. I'm going to be talking about the latest in a long line of female actresses that decided to torpedo their career by opening up their mouth and sticking both their feet in it. Yes, Milly Alcock recently did an interview, and it was published about the same time that the latest trailer for Supergirl dropped. In addition, we heard a whole bunch of rumors regarding chaos on the set, a lot of reshoots, a lot more Lobo, a lot more Superman, and that translates into probably a lot less Supergirl in her own movie. And this rumor I heard personally from Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge. He was on Monday Night Meltdown, and he basically said there have already been 8 screenings for this movie. And that is rather disturbing. I mean, this movie supposedly, if you believe the shill media, has a production cost of $100 million. Where first of all, if they're having multiple reshoots, there's no way that this movie cost $100 million. It's a lot more. I'm going to bet that the real number is probably twice that. And the second problem is, why are you having so many reshoots and so many screenings? I mean, I don't get it. I'm not in the business, but I've never heard of 8 screenings for a movie. I mean, I joked that they were all done by James Gunn, but, apparently this is a true rumor. So that's just disturbing on many levels. And the trailer itself, it was more favorable than the first trailer. Of course, I pretty much believe that had to do with Crypto not pissing on a picture of Superman. And the main criticisms, which were valid, was one, they seem to be rehashing a plot point from the first Superman, which is Crypto's in trouble, we need to save Crypto. And James Gunn has some weird obsession with Crypto, and I don't think it's healthy. The other criticism, which is completely valid, is this is just not another Guardians of the Galaxy movie with a different cast. And it's beginning to look like that James Gunn can only do James Gunn. But let's get back to Milly and the interview she did. Supergirl Milly Alcock says, I really can't stop backlash. I really don't know what backlash there is against her. Hopefully we'll find out in this article. I don't think she's a bad Supergirl. I think she's actually a good one. And with a proper plot, a proper director, a proper script, proper dialogue, I think she could be a great Supergirl. I haven't heard any criticism weighed against her specifically. But Milly Alcock told Vanity Fair in an new interview, that she's aware she'll face backlash over leading Warner Brothers Supergirl simply because she's playing a female superhero. That is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard. If they had gender swapped Superman, and you were playing Superman except you were a girl, that would be a problem. You playing Supergirl is not a problem. If you think that the fans don't like female superheroes, you haven't been paying attention for over the last decade, and you haven't been paying attention to comic book readers since whenever. All right, what comic book readers and fans don't like is when the female superhero is uglified, because fat, obese, blue-haired freaks can't stand seeing hot women on movies, in television shows, in commercials, basically anywhere, because it makes them feel bad about themselves, and they should feel bad about themselves. But I'm digressing here. The 25-year-old actor is no stranger to dealing with intense fandoms, having broke out as young Rhaenyra Targaryen in the first season of HBO's Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. And actually, again, I had no problem with her as young Rhaenyra. I actually think she did a good job. I don't remember any criticism at all. I don't remember the fandom saying they hated her. So this is just confusing. It definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on, Alcock said. We've become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies, and I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. The studio does not own your body. The fans definitely don't own your body. Speaking as a generic fan, if I had ownership, you would be in a really short skirt, a bra, and a cape. And that's it. That's how you'd be doing Supergirl. And I think a lot of the male fandom, who are the primary fandom in this, would approve of my choices. But since I have no control over this, you are in the uniform that James Gunn picked out for you. I mean, judgment con on whom had the better idea, but I don't really like the Supergirl outfit. I didn't like the Superman outfit. I don't know who's doing costume for this, but they suck. Um, but yeah, there you go. So the fans don't own your body. Sorry. And I forgot where I was. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. Okay. Alcock debuted as Supergirl in a cameo in last year's Superman. Yes, that was impressively bad. And it's again not her fault. It's the two people I'm about to read their names, which launched James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DC universe on the big screen. This summer's Supergirl is the next movie up for the franchise, and part of the problem is it's the next movie up for the franchise. It should have been Batman. Alcock told Vanity Fair that she swore off doing a big franchise after completing work in House of the Dragon. She changed things up considerably, starring opposite Julianne Moore in Netflix Sirens, never heard of it, limited series, but then she couldn't find work for an entire year. I was so shit scared that my life was over at 22, and of course it wasn't. Oh, this generation. If you hadn't found work ever again, would your life have been over? I haven't pretended my whole life. I've worked my whole life. Well, from 18 to now, anyway. Just like millions of other people have worked. They didn't get to play pretend. They didn't get to play dress up. Maybe as a kid. But they didn't get to do any of this. And they sure as heck didn't get paid for it. So the fragility here is just staggering. That you would have felt your whole life was over because you couldn't find another acting gig and you would have had to join the rest of us normies in society because you just couldn't find an acting job anymore. And you think that would have been life over. That's absolutely pathetic. Okay. And of course, it wasn't, Alcock said, about career anxiety that settled in and made the chance to audition for Supergirl all the more favorable. I kind of bullied myself into it. Oh, you bullied yourself. So you're a bully. Got it. Vanity Fair also asked Alcock about legendary directors such as Martin Scorsese and Ridley Scott speaking out against the superhero genre. Scorsese infamously compared comic book movies to theme park rides when talking about the worrisome state of film exhibition. Uh, what's the problem there? I like amusement park rides. They're fun. And that's what superhero movies are. They're fun when they're done right. And a lot of people go to see them when they're done right. While Scott said superhero movies are boring as shit and they aren't any fucking good, Alcock does not seem to mind. Scott, a lot of your later productions in life have been shit. They haven't been fucking good. You got no room to talk. Not anymore. You used to do good movies. Now you do shit. And by the way, if a movie is shit, if it's campy, I assume that's what they mean by it, because most superhero movies are campy. Great. If you don't take yourself too seriously. I've seen a lot of movies that critics wouldn't like because it wasn't very good. It was campy, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. And a lot of people enjoyed it. Some of the best movies sell as far as the box office go of all time are campy, fun movies. A lot of movies that ended up being cult classics are fun, campy movies. So, Ridley, go fuck yourself. She continues, I get it. They've been around for fucking ever making phenomenal films. Scorsese probably has had a lot less bombs. Ridley Scott, I can't remember a recent success for him. Somebody may be able to point one out for me, but everything he's done lately has not been great. Not every film is for everyone. The beauty of art is that you have to be selective. Yeah, but can you afford to be selective when you're an actor in Hollywood? Or do you have to take what's given to you? Obviously, when you get to a certain point in your career, you can be a lot more picky. If you have the accolades behind you, you can be more picky. But eventually everyone gets cut out. So you have a expiration date. And I guess that expiration date is dictated by how your career goes. Warner Brothers' Supergirl synopsis reads, when an unexpected and ruthless adversary strikes too close to home, Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, reluctantly joins forces with an unlikely companion on an epic interstellar journey of vengeance and justice. All right, I'm going to stop right there. When you read that and then you look at the latest trailer, those two things don't seem to coalesce very well. Funny thing is, I caught a post from Neurotic Gary Beekler talking about this article, and he basically said that it was basically killing the movie while it was in the crib. And my response tweet was basically, Gary got it wrong. It's basically a movie abortion because it hasn't come out yet, meaning literally and figuratively. Since we're talking about babies coming out, it's still in the womb. It'd be an abortion at this point because she's talking badly about the movie. And I explained the joke, so it's not going to be funny. But he basically hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is really Rachel Zegler 2.0 with about the same quality of movie. I would say Snow White is going to definitely be worse than this movie, but not by much. I think this is going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be good at all. I've seen nothing that convinces me it's going to be good. Maybe the stuff with Lobo and Superman are going to be good, but it's not a Lobo movie and it's not a Superman movie. It's a Supergirl movie. If she's not the star, then in my opinion, this movie is a failure. I think it's going to be a failure anyway. I just don't think there's that much interest in it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. We'll just have to wait a few months and see. I think this comes out at the end of May. And we're almost into April, so we got less than 2 months for this to come out. We'll just see how it's received. That's all we can do. If people show up, if they like it, if word of mouth is good, it'll probably make money. If it's not, it's doomed. I'm betting it's doomed. And with that, I'm going to end this video. And like my father told me when I was 18 years old, the free video's over. Get out.